It is Thursday night, April 24th. I haven't even eaten my dinner yet. It's around 9:20. So this is not going to be a very long live stream, but I do still like the idea that on Thursdays we discuss a definitive, definite topic. Um, so I wanted to do that, but I also, like I said, am hungry. So I'm not going to dwell for too long, but I think this is something worth discussing. Hey, Joe, if people who worked in the comic industry actually watch this live stream, I think this would be a very important one for us to have a dialogue. Hey, Doc, I think, but they don't. So you guys who buy things in the comic industry may find it fascinating, but I don't know who else is going to find this. I did my diamond ordering today, and things are such a mess. I'm always hungry for justice. Um, but right now I'm hungry for chili dogs. Um, Sonic the Hedgehog. I did my ordering today, and it would be nice to say that all these issues are comics. It's the comic world. It's the dissolution of Diamond and Lunar and all this stuff that's causing. But it's clearly also affected by all the other things going on in this country and people being caught up in a million things. But um, Tony Shenton, my independent rep, who I have been with since we started, who represents Scholastic, IPS, which is one division of Ingram, Abrams Books, which is one division of Hachette Books, and many other small press people and self publishers, um, sent out a bunch of emails as he always did, talking about what's available this month in Diamond's previews from his people that you can order through him. I went to open those today and found they were not that usual email from Tony, but they were an email from Tony of his own catalogs. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago that he made himself because he wasn't sure there was going to be previews. So he goes, here's my catalogs. Um, and I messaged him. I said, you don't have a master one that's all of them. He goes, every single thing coming out from all these publishers. No, it'd be too much for everybody. And then he went, wait a second, you mean for previews? What's in previews? And I was like, yeah, but don't. I'm already started. I'm already getting to work on this. So fine. I went through and I realized that one, he had included in those lists that he made specific things that weren't in previews, things that Previews magazine had left out, including the new Gareth. Oh my god, I just blanked on his name. The guy who did the Dancing Plague. Um, and a few other really beautiful books where they did embroidery artwork. Gareth Brooks. He had left those out. Diamond didn't have them. They didn't have them in the previews catalog, and there were other things left out of the previews catalog that was good that he had them. But more than that, much more than that, is you're going through and you're seeing the Diamond catalog. It is thinner. It doesn't include Marvel, DC, or Image Comics at all. They're just not in there. They're listed on the website. They're listed as available to order because Diamond wants us to order them through other people for people, but they're not in the catalog at all. They don't exist. So um, just a sheer change. If you picked up a Diamond catalog 3 years ago and a Diamond catalog now, they're so different. There's so much not in there. There's so many companies that just list one new book and a bunch of stuff re-solicited. A bunch of companies like AWA, American Mythology, Aspen, who have almost no new products regularly. It's just a mess. Beyond that, you also have the fact that companies like Drone and Quarterly, First, Second, all the Macmillan companies, they don't even appear in every catalog. But there's all these imprints from Random House, from Simon and Schuster, from that are making comics. They're making these tiny little, and I'm going through this catalog and I'm looking at books that like we could sell this maybe. This is an okay book that someone might like, but the way things are now, we're not ordering it. And just shutting and realizing that a year ago I had this problem. I've been talking about this forever. That the publishers are making too much stuff, and there isn't enough for us to get. Going through this catalog, I realized that a lot of that stuff is not even on my radar anymore. Meaning they're still making tons of stuff. There are still companies churning out good books, but that I can't sell. I don't have an audience for it. Fine. there's still a humongous amount of that. But the number of publishers in Diamond previews listed doing that are a lot less. And as we've mentioned before, Brian Hibbs and many other retailers have said if it's not in Diamond, it's not getting into all the specialty comic shops who can be the big advocates for these books. So we're seeing, I think, the nadir beginning to descend. We are going to hit that. We're getting to that low point. I would say that by mid 2026, a lot of publishers who are putting out a ridiculous amount of books will not be because they're already slowing down. They've made a bunch of announcements for next year at Abrams, but they have not made a bunch of announcements for next year at Macmillan or Drawn and Quarterly. Drawn and Quarterly just announced its fall books. Usually, fall books would have been announced in winter. They announced their September books just now. I think everyone's holding off. Everyone's looking. Look, this market is not bearing what it used to, and things are slowing down. On a personal note, we have ordered even less. As my new thing to order less and less and less, and that's what we're doing. I would say we had about a few $100s of pre-orders. A lot of those books will get changed by final order cutoff. People will add single issues to their final order cutoff. But we went to barely over $1,000 on orders. I probably added $500. And again, I take a lot of stuff off because I'm ordering it from other distributors. It's a whole crazy math. But we ordered so little. There were so many books I looked at. I'm like, this looked really good. I'm not getting it. You can't sell the Wonder Woman book. I don't know what Wonder Woman book you're referring to. If you mean the current ongoing Wonder Woman, we don't get it. The current Tom King run on Wonder Woman, I have no subscribers on that book. Occasionally people get variant covers of it that they like, and we order it for them, and that's it. But that's true of tons of superhero books. There are loads of superhero books that we don't get any shelf copies, and we don't even have subscribers on some of them. That's old news for us, but it's becoming news for more comic shops. More people are doing that. And that's the state of the current comic market. That's where we're at right now. We are at a place where people's ordering have already shifted to pretty low. The deluge of books is way too many for most shops, most people to get. And now we have this economic instability affecting things even more. So I don't know where we're going to be in 2026. There will be less books, but there also might be a lot less comic shops. I've mentioned this a couple times because it's praying in the back. When a 22 I have no idea what you're talking about. When a comic shop that's almost 25 years old says that action figures are its best-selling line, the action figures, and they don't know what's going to happen with all this tariffs and plastic and all. When that's where we're at, that comic shop, that if that's their most lucrative thing, if again, it might not happen. These toys might arrive in May or June with no tariffs on them. Who knows? But they're not making their money off of back issue sales, new comic book sales, graphic novel sales. They're making their money off this plastic. There's a lot of shops like that. There's a lot of shops that are making money on all those things, but they certainly can't get rid of their toys and start carrying more books and sell more books. It's not going to happen that way. So we're at, it is really driven home to me today as I'm doing the order on like 6 spreadsheets, 5 different places. All things are really, really, really up in the air for the comic market. When we started doing this 5 years ago, that was true because of COVID, but now it's true just because of the eventual long tail of the COVID decisions, DC leaving, forming of Lunar, all that stuff is coming home to roost as things fall apart. I think that these people, Alliance, who bought Diamond, were saying how they don't know how to do comics. They know how to do toys and vinyl and that sort of stuff. I think they best learn how to do comics because with Diamond, there tucked away, they may be able to survive a crazy time where plastic and that sort of stuff does not work. So yeah, that is where we're at. That is where comics is sitting. I don't know where we're going to be a year from now. I mean, again, I keep saying I don't know if our shop is going to be around, but I don't know where the whole comic market is going to be. I think people keep talking about how comic sales are up on single issues, are very much not seeing the forest for the trees. So we'll see what happens. As usual, I'm gonna go have some dinner, and remember, if I can get in tomorrow, I will try. But usually, Fridays seem to be we've gone to pretty much 5 days a week. Um, anyway, until either tomorrow or Sunday, remember, damn it, babies, you gotta be kind.